high, pushing me out of the way. It screwed up a live shot in center field. Where's my guy?
Mason? I don't know. He's right there. You need him?
No. It's just a freaking clusterfuck. I mean, nobody knows what they're doing. Everybody's screaming at one another.
What's wrong?
Give me 6.
best he's ever felt as far as extension with that elbow plus stuff. He's got 4 overpowering pitches. Again, the fastball in the mid-90s, and then last year they got him almost over 6.5 runs a game. So when he pitched, they scored a lot of runs, and that translated into early 9 wins, eventually 10 for the season.
He has a 1-1 record going against the Minnesota Twins. Here is Joe Mauer. A lot of left-handers in this lineup against Arrieta today. You've got Span and Mauer, Morneau, Brian Doman, who's a switch hitter, Parmalee, their young first baseman, a left-hander, and Casilla, a switch hitter. Last year against Arrieta, left-handers went 253, right-handers 258. And Mauer will take the off-speed pitch on the inside corner for a strike.
Well, Bordy, that's about as good a curveball as you can throw.
It's tight. You know, this spring I stepped in on one of his bullpens, and I just wanted to get a look at his stuff, just standing in the box.
And then you were happy you were broadcasting?
Oh, my goodness. That breaking ball is special.
Runner at first base. Pretty good lead over there for Carroll. Not going, though. Mauer will foul that one away. The Twins, here's another player, of course, they simply have got to have play every day. Mauer, Ron Gardenhire told me this morning, he said he's going to come out. In fact, on Sunday, he said you can expect him to be at first base. He said, I'm going to move people around. Mauer's not going to catch every game. I've got to get him out of there in order to keep him healthy. He got only 296 at bats last year, hitting .287, only 3 home runs and 30 RBIs. So you got to have Mauer and Morneau in the lineup every day and doing much more offensively. And the throw over will get Carroll back to the bag.
Well, when he's healthy, now it is very difficult to hit at target field. It's a pitcher's ballpark. You know, his first year he went from 28 home runs to 9, and that's the year he was healthy. That was 2010. But this is a guy that's won 3 batting titles. He can flat out hit, and he can hit the ball to left field with the best of them.
And the 0-2 delivery to him. Got in on him. That's going to be fouled back over the screen. And the count will stay at 2 strikes.
If you're a Twin fan, Gary, as you just mentioned, last year he had the knee surgery. He didn't really get to work out, and we've seen a lot of players go through that. Then he had what do they call bilateral body weakness, where because he tried to hurry through spring training, only got to play in 82 games, 47 behind the plate.
Very tough when you don't have the guy you were counting on to be the middle power of your lineup. 2-strike, runner not going, and the pitch will be taken away. Carroll can steal a base, or has. He was 10 for 10 last year stealing bases, and he's walked off a fairly decent lead over there. But remember, there's a Gold Glover working behind the plate, and Matt Wieters was better than anyone else in the league, throwing out 37% of the base stealers last year. Against Arrieta, base stealers had 11 out of 15 in stolen bases. So Arrieta's going to concentrate on that. Buck Showalter makes that a prime purpose of pitchers when runners are on. Keep them close.
Yeah, you want to keep them close, and then again you also want to speed up your delivery as far as your release point, because again if you've watched Matt Wieters catch, all you got to do is get the ball to him under 1.3 seconds, and he's going to throw people out.
1-2, runner not going in. Mauer will take it up high,
and that's a little changeup. So you've seen the curveball, you've seen some changeups. But then again, the reason Mauer won 3 batting championships, he's number 1, he doesn't swing very early in the count, and number 2, he doesn't mind swinging and hitting with 2 strikes.
Arrieta keeping an eye at first base. Mauer outfield deep, swung around to left actually to play him to hit the other way. Mauer goes right back up the middle. Arrieta go to the bag. There's one relay. That's how you get out of the inning. So a good start for Arrieta as they turn the double play. Hardy, Andino, and Davis, the Orioles lineup when we come back. space permitting, and it is unique as it's up above the batting eye there in center field, and it's brand new and it looks good. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Orioles, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Reimold, Hardy, and Markakis, Jones, Wieters, and Benameet, Reynolds, Davis, and Andino. Nick from last year, 295, 15, and 73 ribbies.
Take our scouting report on the 36-year-old right-hander. He does throw a lot of strikes, the fifth in least amount of walks. He has a great changeup, and then he wants to forget last year, as do the Twins.
Reimold, a little tapper. Pavano's got to play it and gets it there in time. So Pavano helps his own cause, hesitated, and almost didn't get over to it.
Well, you know, again, you're 36 years old. You're tall. I mean, he's almost 6'6". Long way to the ground. But again, there's your spring training drills. Just get it to him, and he does.
Well, that's a veteran pitcher right there. There was no panic in that play. I think there was more panic right there by Nolan Reimold swinging at the first pitch, right?
Well,
a little bit aggressive early on.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things you're going to have to look at, and you could probably talk about it as the game goes on. You got a guy you know going to throw a lot of strikes, but you want to make them, as we've been talking all spring, hittable strikes.
Right. Get this guy up in the zone and put good swings on him.
Carl Pavano will pitch to J.J. Hardy, Orioles number 2 man in the lineup. The shortstop with a great year last year, 1 for 4 off Pavano, and that one hit as a home run. And the pitch will be taken in the outside corner. Pavano at this point of his career is sometimes can be slower and slowest. Not necessarily going to be much heat out there on the mound. He's about keeping your timing off. That ball is going to be popped up in the air and back. That'll be over the screen. The Orioles hope J.J. Hardy can repeat what he did last year. What a season.
He had a great year. 30 home runs. Played great defense as well. Should have been a Gold Glover. And they're hoping he can have that kind of production this year as well.
And he played under 130 games because of the ankle injury. Still hit the 30 home runs. Most ever. Well, back to really what he was in Milwaukee, where he had 24, 26 home runs back years. And Jim Presley, the hitting instructor, said, "You're healthy, let's attack the ball." And boy, did he do a great job of that last year.
Pavano with a 2-2 delivery to him. That'll be scooped up by Mauer, and the count will go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And I would imagine he's such a good high breaking ball hitter. I mean, dead red fastball hitter, loves the ball up in the zone. And you could see Pavano already change-ups, a little bit of cutters, sliders.
And that'll be fouled straight back. And the count will stay at 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Orioles had a good season against Minnesota last year. They won 6 of the 8 games that these two teams played. The Orioles are going to have the 3-game series here, and then in July, the Orioles will play 4 games against the Twins in Minnesota. So it'll be 7 games on the year against the Twins. 3-2 delivery inside to him. Did he go? No. First base, Jeff Nelson said he held up. Hardy gets the walk.
We'll take a look at the assortment of pitches. And again, he went from 17 wins to 9. So the sinker and the fastball, again, those are the same. So 61% fastballs. You can see the splitter along with the changeup. They kind of act the same. And then his breaking ball is not a curveball. It's a slider. But again, a lot of stuff. And again, he likes the ball. He wants you to hit the ball on the ground. And it's not a bad idea here at Camden Yards, the way balls fly out of this ballpark.
Runner on at first base now, and here's Nick Markakis, Orioles Gold Glove right fielder, receiving his Gold Glove prior to the game today. And going out is Mauer to have a word with Pavano. Markakis has had good numbers against Pavano, going 6 for 19 in his career, coming off the 15 home run, 70-plus RBI season. Nick would like to up the power numbers a little bit, as well as the RBI numbers. We talked in the spring about setting the middle of this lineup, at least for this day. Markakis 3rd, Jones 4th, and Wieters will hit 5th. And that'll be taken on a floater away. That almost looked like a knuckleball. Mauer had trouble handling it.
I think you're going to see Pavano throw a lot of this off-speed stuff. His velocity has obviously dipped over the last few years, but he's going to use a day like opening day to try to get these hitters with their aggressiveness, and they're so anxious and excited to be out here, to get them to be more aggressive, much like Nolan Reimold did on the first pitch of the game.
Buck Showalter talked about that before the game today. In the air to left field, on his way back, warning track wall. Goodbye, home run! Nick Markakis, the Orioles 2, and the Twins zippo.
Well, the Orioles hitting instructor Jim Presley said, you know, because of the abdominal injury, kind of a slow spring as far as playing, that he thought that Nick spent more time in the weight room. Anticipated more power. And I tell you, to be honest, I can't remember the last time he hit a home run in the left field.
You know, I was thinking the same thing. All spring, he's working on his power stroke, and he's covering the outside part of the plate, and he's trying to pull those balls. Well, he had great patience there. We know that Nick Markakis can drive the ball to left center, but that type of power that way is a great sign.
Nick Markakis ignites the sellout crowd here at Camden Yards. Adam Jones will take it for a ball.
Well, there you go. We can look at the pitch. Center cut fastball. And you don't want to throw those type of pitches to great hitters like Nick Markakis.
And you could see the approach right back up the middle, but again, he just smokes it to left.
Valencia at third base was playing in. He'll make the play on Adam Jones and get the out. And there are 2 down. Pavano gave up 23 home runs last year.
Now defensively, Josh Willingham will be in left and Art Span in center. Ryan Domet in right field. Danny Valencia is playing third base. Jamie Carroll at short. Alexi Casilla at second base. Chris Parmelee is playing first, and Joe Mauer's doing the catching.
Keep an eye on Chris Parmelee. He's one of their young stars who's jumped from Double-A to the majors.
I'm going to keep an eye on Ryan Domet, who's a catcher playing right field today.
Leaders, Pavano gets over to cover, and they will get the out. But the fans got what they wanted early here at Camden Yards as Nick Markakis puts one the other way, celebrating the first game of the 21st year. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Great to have you with us. What a way to start the Orioles season, year number 59 and the 21st here at the ballpark with the first inning homer by Nick Markakis. That's where the Immortals are going to be recognized with the unveiling of statues all season long. Jim's going to be one of those who will be recognized there. The greatest Orioles of all time out at the Monument area, which is another one of the new features here at Camden Yards.
Yeah, 1 a month. Frank Robinson on the 28th of April, and then Brooks in May, Earl in June. Somehow it's going to be, I hope my feet don't look that big with being size 14s and that. I have a chance to really have big feet on that. And
I just hope that Earl and you are next to each other and that Earl is facing you.
Oh, yelling at me.
Here's the 1-1 delivery. And the ground ball handled, and Justin Morneau is retired as Davis gets it and one away here in the second inning. Camden Yards, a hitter's yard, always has been, especially when it heats up in the summer. Batting average 5th, home runs 2nd last year in the American League. 5th in runs, 9th in ERA. A lot of that due to the Orioles' very high earned run average, and the hits per 9 innings, 7th most in the American League.
Yeah, only one ballpark. That's Rangers Ballpark down in Arlington with more home runs. and then Camden Yards in 2011.
None of the changes that have been made here should affect what goes on offensively. The right field wall has had the top of it lowered by 4 feet so that fans can see the game better. Josh Willingham will take it. Arrieta's pitch is up high. Talking with the players, they didn't think that's going to have any impact on balls leaving or staying in the yard. Willingham, the newly acquired. He's making the start in left field. Michael Kadire is gone. A staple in the Twins lineup over the past years. He moved on to the Colorado Rockies. So Josh Willingham was acquired by the Minnesota team and will make the start in left.
And he's always hit the Orioles well, because it always seems he gets a fastball in the middle of the plate, and he's in a hitter's count here. And he had 29 last year for Oakland, and he goes from one of the, of course you don't play all your games at the Coliseum, but he goes from a very good pitching park in Oakland to a very good pitching park and try to hit in Target Field in Minneapolis. But from really left center on, he can hit some bombs.
He's strong. He's a strong kid.
Yeah, very, very quick bat.
Ron Gardenhire hoping. Gardenhire's not quite sure what he's got this year. Worried about Span. Worried about Morneau with the concussion problems. Worried about Mauer with the injuries. Not knowing a lot about Willingham. In that high sky, it'll be handled by Nick Markakis. Willingham is retired, and there are 2 down. Tickets still remain for the rest of the 2012 opening weekend series against the Twins tomorrow 7:05 and Sunday at 1:35. Hope you'll come out and experience Oriole Park. Take a look at all the changes. 20th anniversary excitement. 888-848-BIRD or go to Orioles.com. Tomorrow's game tomorrow night. Tommy Hunter scheduled to make the start for the O's. Francisco Liriano for the Twins. Sunday afternoon, Jason Hamill against Liam Hendricks. And Arrieta will miss with it. Ryan Doumit, former catcher, making the start in right field in this ball game.
Yeah, we were talking about playing right. He said he played 85 games in the National Leagues as a right fielder. So it's not like it's completely foreign. I remember when Chris Sable came over, we traded for him. You might have been on that team. I said, Chris, they put him in right field. How are you going to play? So I'm going to turn around and play it off the wall.
There you go. Same way I did the other place.
And that's kind of the way he played right field, wasn't it?
Doumit down to first, foul.
Well, they got a power. Yeah, he does, and he's a switch hitter.
There may be a little transition period for him, though, coming over to the American League. Spending that many years over in the National League. And
well, when you consider that the catchers for Minnesota hit 184 last year, I think that he might help him a lot. Yeah.
He got in. Great pitch by Arrieta. There's his first strikeout of the new season, and he retires the side in order. The Orioles on the opener have the lead 2-0. Go beyond the stadium. Visit Sarasota on Florida's Gulf Coast at number1beach.com. Great spring training season at Smith Stadium. Absolutely glorious. Second highest attendance in spring training ever for the Orioles organization. And Arrieta getting it done in a hurry through the first 2 innings. Here is Betamit, the new designated hitter for the Orioles. The wind really whipping around here today. Hard to tell which way it's blowing. The flagpoles seem to indicate it's blowing out towards left or from right towards left, but it's really swirling around here.
Yeah, they were, workouts for both clubs. The Twins in the morning yesterday, the Orioles in the afternoon, and ball wasn't carrying yesterday like it did there. So maybe, again, it does swirl. The warehouse plays such an effect on it. Mike, probably know. Can you really tell on the field?
It's really hard to tell, actually. I mean, the flag over there, one of those buildings way out over center field is blowing towards right, and the flag out in left center is blowing towards left. So
yeah, the late L. Rod Hendricks used to always say you could look at the birds up on top of the scoreboard and which way they're facing, except they were just talking to each other. So
that's right. That's going to be to center field. Betamit is retired. Span there to get it. But the one thing, Darren, you made a good point about being blustery. The one thing that changes, the weather, it's extremely warm in Florida. Pitching is such touch and feel. So we already saw Pavano, who's a control guy, and there's the wind we're talking about. The ball does become slick. So a lot of times, again, you can get away with bad pitches, but not in the middle of the plate. And it's already cost Pavano 2 runs on the Markakis home run. Here is Reynolds. Pretty incredible looking at some of the numbers, always for Mark. Everyone talks about the strikeouts and the home runs this spring, though. He actually had as many walks as he had strikeouts. And when all was said and done last year, he took 4.2 pitches per plate appearance, which is very high. He doesn't do it in this at bat. That's way up there. Span is tracked it down. And there are 2 away here in the second inning. So Reynolds is retired. You see the pitchers per plate appearance. Mark Reynolds is right up there at the top for the Orioles with Betamit, Markakis, Reimold, Hardy, and Wieters. I think it's one of those numbers. If you ask fans, even those who follow the Orioles, who takes the most pitchers per plate appearance, Mark Reynolds would not be one of those that you'd probably put at the top of that list. But he is. And he's going to try and do that again this year and even draw some more walks. Forcing some better pitches.
When you're a power hitter like Mark Reynolds, pitchers aren't going to give you center cut fastballs right out of the gate. They're going to start you off with breaking balls, change ups. So I think that's what you see right there by those numbers.
Well, it just goes back to what Dan Duquette, the new general manager, Jim Presley, the hitting instructor, who was a high strikeout home run type of guy, is try to get a good pitch to hit. And I think Mark does a pretty good job of that.
Yep. Chris Davis, first baseman, 2 down, nobody on. Pavano's pitch will be fouled away. The Orioles looking forward to a full season from Chris Davis. Obviously did not have an opportunity to see him last year. We've talked about how Buck Showalter really desperately wanted to get him as the season went along, able to do it. And now for Showalter, it's a chance to see what Davis can do when given a chance to play every day. Buck Showalter was interesting. He's continued. He's been very consistent through spring training and right through today's press conference, talking about the lineup you see today is not the lineup you're going to see tomorrow, and tomorrow's lineup is not the lineup you're going to see on Sunday. He calls it movable parts. That one moved, and the part it caught was the inside corner. And Pavano gets his first strikeout and has a 1-2-3 inning. Nick Markakis has the home run, and the Orioles have a 2-0 lead. Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal Credit Union serves the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, the Department of Defense, and their families. Federally insured by NCUA. And by Burger King, the proud sponsor of opening week baseball. It started in Japan. Then it came back to the U.S. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the fourth opening day for Major League Baseball for the 2012 season. And the Orioles kicking it off here in the first of three against the Twins. And Jake Arrieta getting his first start, 10-8 last year, 5.05 earned run average. He will take on Danny Valencia, the third baseman, and a strike on the inside corner, bottom third of the order.
And I think what we saw, the final strikeout to Ryan Doman, was probably better velocity than we saw all last year at 96. Inside corner, and it's great to be able to extend that arm. Use the curveball. It's about as good as you can. Danny Valencia is a young hitter that, he had 15 home runs, but watch this hook. I mean, they say curveball's like you drop it off the table.
That had late break at the end, didn't it?
And you don't, well, you know better than anybody. Do you see the spin on a good hook?
Oh, and he got him to go after one. Foul tipped into the mid.
The ability to pitch ahead in the count. How hard is that, Mike, when you're trying to hit?
Man, oh man, when you fall behind as a hitter and then you have to protect, especially when you have a pitcher like Jake Arrieta has 4+ pitches. I mean, what do you look for? I mean, you can take pitches away from some pitchers, but when a pitcher like Jake Arrieta steps up there with 4+ pitches, it makes it really difficult.
And he's trying to improve on that first pitch strike. They give him the chances. He's getting early in this game. 2 strikeouts in a row now. Here's Chris Parmelee. Parmelee goes after the first one. And that is going to end up in the seats. I asked Ron Gardenhire this morning, I said, what do you think of this young first baseman you got? And Gardy said he can hit. He said this is a young man. He's ready to play at the major league level, even though he's never played at AAA. They called him up last year, and he just hit a ton with the Twins at the end of the year and continued to do that this spring. And Gardenhire said there's just no way we could not have him on this team.
Well, it's really a luxury for him in the sense that Justin Morneau would love to play first base, but because of the concussion, they just want to get his bat in the lineup 4 or 5 times a night. So this kid steps in and, a very good defensive player. You talked about never playing at AA. He was the best, at least rated the best defensive first baseman.
Gardenhire said he's also going to play some right field. He said, when I move Mauer to first base, Parmelee's going to go to right, so I can keep his bat in the lineup. Right now it's Arrieta who's keeping their bats on the bench. 3 strikeouts in a row.
Well, he can do that. He can walk about 1 every 2 innings and strike out probably 3 guys at every 4 innings. He's got that kind of stuff. And again, just watch this ball. It looks like a fastball and then
disappears.
Yep.
Here's Alexei Casilla, 2 down, nobody on. Another speedster. Reynolds will move in at third base. Casilla's got a 2 for 4 lifetime off Arrieta, and he'll take it.
See what I see, and you talked about, again, Rick Adair, the pitching coach, trying to get his windup a little bit more rhythm. He's ready to pitch already. Casilla's going to have to, he's going to have to wait for him, but he's more direct to the plate. He has a tendency to get a little across his body, and again, as you mentioned, Mike, land on the heel. At least to this point, that windup is about as good as you can get, and then the stuff to go with it.
Yeah, really clean.
There is Rick Adair.
Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way. Casilla is a chopper. Arrieta's got it and got in. He retires the side in order. And if you count the double play in the first inning, that's 8 in a row that he set down. Robinson, Earl Weaver, Jim Palmer, Eddie Murray, Cal. When you purchase the Orioles Legends Celebration Series package, you get a ticket to each game when the larger-than-life bronze sculptures will be unveiled. All fans in attendance will receive a replica sculpture as well. Don't miss out on it. Get information 888-848-BIRD to go to Orioles.com/legends. Part of the celebration all year long here of Camden Yards and the 20th anniversary. Here's Andino. We were talking about movable parts, and the lineup's going to change, Mike. Here's one of those players that has become a very stable part with Brian Roberts out starting at second base. Andino will take it.
Well, he proved last year that he can play every day in the major leagues. That was always the question about Robert Andino. Is he going to get overexposed? Well, last year he had an opportunity to play a lot of short, played a lot of second base, and proved that he could handle it every day in the big leagues. So you see a different type of Robert Andino coming into this year. I mean, he was much more relaxed, confident, and he's poised to have another solid year.
Yeah, and you'll see, of course, they'll make some adjustments talking about the opposition. You know, he's a good fastball hitter, probably a better fastball hitter than breaking ball hitter, but he made some nice adjustments as the season went on last year.
I thought Buck Showalter had an interesting comment talking about that this morning. He called Andino. He said, you know, Andino's not just playing while Brian Roberts is out. He said, I've been impressed enough with his performance. He called him a regular irregular. He said he's not only working to play at second base while Roberts is out, but even if Brian comes back, he's working on playing somewhere else. Because he says, I want him in the lineup. And that's going to be handled by Carroll. A bounce off the mound. Oh, that would have been up the middle for a base hit.
Yeah, tough luck right there by Robert Andino. Hit that ball well. I mean, it's a base hit off the bat, and just boom, hits that mound and kicked right back to Jamie Carroll at shortstop.
You're not one of these guys that want to lower the mound, do you?
Well, in that situation for Robert Andino, yeah.
I mean, this is a bullet.
He buried that right in the front of the mound, slowed it completely down.
Yep.
And Carroll able to go up and get it and make the play. Back to the top of the order. Reimold saw only that one pitch as he went after the delivery by Pavano. Grounded out his first time up. Our Burger King game flow coming up. Pavano with the 1-0 delivery. And a big cut on a breaking ball.
Yeah, that's that splitter changeup.
Burger King presenting our opening week of Orioles baseball. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Another one going down and away.
Couple tough pitches right there on Nolan Reimold. Buck's been using Andy Chavez and Nolan Reimold in the leadoff spot all spring, and Nolan offers, you know, a different look. He's not the prototypical leadoff guy, but he's got that power potential, and pitchers tend to pitch around those guys a little bit, and that'll increase some walks for Nolan Reimold. So, you know, if he can get off to a good start, maybe pop a few out of the yard, his on-base percentage, you'll see it'll go up.
Reimold 1 for 7 lifetime off. Pavano with the 0 for 1 that he's had in this ball game. A 1-2 delivery to him, trying to get him to chase.
Yeah, you can see not a lot of fastballs for strikes. And again, just as a veteran pitcher trying to get himself out with something out of the strike zone.
Buck Showalter said this morning, Pavano's a pitcher who lives 3 inches off the plate, either inside or out.
Yep.
Here's the 2-2 delivery, and that one right there. Nice play by Carroll. That's a nifty pick. And just got him. Carroll hesitated, I don't think realizing the speed. And Jeff Nelson had a close call.
Well, there's a situation there. I mean, you get a guy coming over from the National League, obviously doesn't understand how fast Nolan Reimold gets down that line. Nolan Reimold consistently gets down that line faster than anybody in the game, I think. Yeah,
they had him at, most of the scouts told me last year, Mike, that they had him at 4.41, and that's exceptionally fast. Maybe the only other guy would be maybe Brett Lowry or Mike Trout of the Angels. Lowry playing with the Jays.
Pitch will be taken up high. Had to send a text to our great friend, former broadcaster here, Buck Martinez, as Toronto opened up with a 16-inning opener, the longest opening day ball game via inning ever. Well, I congratulated him on getting a good start to the season, solid performance. He texted back and said, well, we had the day off was coming up, so I figured I ought to get in my 2 days worth of work in one day. He did. That'll go to second base. 5-hopper to Casilla makes the play, and Hardy's retired. Both these pitchers settling in as Pavano has now retired 8 in a row after the home run by Markakis that gave the Orioles a 2-0 lead. Lottery strike and rich contest of the game. David Thomas is our participant for Baltimore. David started with $500. Already 3 strikeouts picked up by Arrieta. So David, you're already up to $800 before we even get your name on the air. See how you can turn non-winning strike and rich scratch-offs into cash and enter to win great Oriole prizes at mdlottery.com/strikeandrich today. So good luck, David Thomas. Actually, pretty good luck already. $800 in the bank, and you didn't even know you were a contestant. Here's Denard Span. He shows bunt, takes it up high.
I was waiting for somebody to do that. Obviously, Mark Reynolds, didn't have the greatest year defensively. And when you have a team like the Minnesota Twins right now going against Jake Arrieta, kind of scuffling to get a hit, somebody's going to try to lay a bunt down, and Span shows it right there.
And what makes it difficult, too, is that he did it on the first pitch. So now, if you're Reynolds, you're going to play another step in. Easier for Denard Span to hit it by him. Right. And as we mentioned, last year before the concussion, he was hitting 300, which he did 2 years ago. And again, he's a run-scoring machine when he's healthy.
And the delivery to him down to third. He finds the hole. It's going to be an impossible play. Hardy over. Can't get it.
Great effort there, though.
So Span has got himself a base hit and a leadoff single, which will create some problems here in the 4th inning. Time for our AT&T Mobility Trivia Fact. The Orioles 11-5 record opening day since '96, best in the major leagues. They have won 9 of their last 11 opening day games. The Orioles all-time 36 wins, 22 losses in openers, 23-13 here at home in Baltimore. Now keep an eye on Span. Carroll at the plate can handle the bat. Anything can go on right here if Gardenhire chooses to put it in play.
Yeah, and you would think he's probably going to get a fastball to hit. Jamie Carroll going to have a little interruption. But it's a great running situation, and it's a great situation for Carroll, who sprays the ball all over the place to get a fastball to hit.
Well, we'll have to wait here as we get a fan on the field with Span on. For Jake Arrieta, the opportunity for him to have a really big-time season is at hand. He's taken care of the problems with the elbow from last year. He says he's never, as Jim mentioned, probably feels as good as he's ever felt pitching. He's been put in a position where he's really being asked to kind of anchor the staff, be an innings eater, get some outs here, and lead the rest of the staff. And I really think that's something he wants to do. But I think he's got that kind of competitiveness in him.
Well, you have to go. When you talk about the young pitchers, you had Brian Mattis out of San Diego University, #1 draft choice. Jake went in the 5th round, and if you talk to Joe Johnson, who was the scouting director at the time, he said we had him a lot higher than that. So they were very lucky to get him all the way down in the 5th round. But again, he's always been a guy, and you watch him throw, and I told him 2 springs ago when I first saw him throw, I said, there is no reason why, number one, you can't pitch in the big leagues this year, and number two, you can't be really good at what you do.
You take a look at Arrieta, and obviously from the first 16 to the last 6, you have an enormous difference, but you got to believe a great deal of that was due to the physical problems that he was having and would have to take care of.
Yeah, he would tell you that, again, the arm would just tighten up. So again, pitching is such, again, extension and feel and touch. Well, just imagine if you go to throw a pitch and all of a sudden number one, I can't get the extension I need, and number two, it's going to hurt. And that was what happened last year. And
also for Arrieta, he did get a ton of run support when he pitched last year. 6.86 runs per start for him. It was the 3rd most in the majors. Derek Holland of Texas was number 1 with over 7.6 a game, and then Tim Wakefield, who's retired, of course, had almost 7 runs per ball game in his starts, and then Jake was 3rd. All right, the idiot has been removed in no uncertain terms, I might add. And we'll go back to playing baseball. Jamie Carroll at the plate with a 1-0 count. Denard Span on at first base. Orioles lead it on the Markakis home run in the first inning, 2-0. Nobody out. Arrieta will make the throw over to get him back to the bag. And we'll see what Gardenhire wants to do in this situation as Carroll looks down to third to get the signs. Steve Lytle, third base coach, moving Reynolds in just on the cut of the grass at third base. Runner not going. Pitch will be up high by Arrieta, and he falls behind 2-0.
Well, you could see again the veteranness, I guess to coin another word. I mean the experience factor of Jamie Carroll, because he worked a walk to get Maurer up there. The same thing that the Orioles were able to do with J.J. Hardy, and then Markakis hit the home run back in the first. So right here, he's worked himself into a hitter's count. 2-1's probably your best hit and run count. But if again you're talking about a team that was second to last, talking about the Twins because of injuries last year and runs scored, so
they really struggle with it in the American League. They were 11th in average, 13th in runs. Their ERA was 13th, so they didn't get it on either end, offense or pitching, and their defense was dead last. That'll be foul back.
Well, you wonder if Gardenhire is going to kind of push the envelope here a little bit, especially with Span at first base and Jamie Carroll, we know can handle the bat really well. But you don't want to, hit yourself out of a possible rally inning with Maurer and Morneau, coming up. So.
And then Willingham, yeah, you're right into the part of your lineup for the second time.
Yeah, exactly.
2-ball, 1-strike count. Span has not extended his lead. In fact, shortens it up. The other thing that plays into this, as it would for the Orioles, when hopefully Brian Roberts gets back, you are going to be very tentative to send a guy who's working through a concussion.
Well, that's a good point.
Into
because,
a situation where you can have a bang slide, hit with a knee, all kinds of stuff if you're trying to steal. There he goes. Hit and run was on, high in the air. Reimold, Jones both coming. Jones will be there. He's going to try for 2. Wow. Threw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball to first base.
He sure did. And but if you look at the Gold Glove catcher where he is in that situation, he was right behind first base.
Wow. The festivities of opening week continue on Monday. The Orioles have the Yankees coming in 3-game set. Tuesday, don't miss Ollie's Bargain Night, presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. Upper reserve seats, all Tuesday home games, $9 in advance. Celebrate this 20th anniversary season. 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. Here is Maurer, who hit into a double play his first time up. 1 away now. Span walks off a half a step more. Arrieta's pitch close but not quite as he misses away with it. Jake Arrieta, as we said, against these Minnesota Twins, coming in with the 2 starts and a 1-1 record against them. Here at home last year, Arrieta was 5-3. He had a 4.79 ERA here at Camden Yards. He'll miss again, and the count will go to 2-0. For Arrieta to be effective, he has got to cut down on the pitches per start. He was up at 95 pitches per start. Only Jeremy Guthrie at 97 had more on the Orioles.
Yeah, they just want him to be a little bit aggressive, more aggressive early in the count, and usually you do that with fastball command.
Mauer waiting on it. He was going for the downs.
But see, again, he's gotten away with 2 pitches in this inning. One to Carroll for the fly ball because of his stuff. Right in the middle of the plate, he got Carroll to pop it up to center field. And right there, I mean, this is a 3-time batting champ that he threw the ball in a hitter's count right by him. I mean, you know that Mauer, and he talking to Joe yesterday, I said, I read where you said, I'm getting to the ball inside, and he had a real good swing, but the stuff allowed him, instead of being a line drive somewhere, just to foul ball back into the screen.
2 ball 1 strike count. Runner not going. Mauer right through that one. 2-2.
And then a backup slider. Tell everybody about a backup slider, Bordy.
I don't know if Jake meant to throw that backup slider,
so.
but it's the toughest pitch in the league to hit. There's no doubt about it.
Why, because you pick up the spin and then it
well,
doesn't do anything?
You see the spin exactly, and you're expecting it to be down and in, and it just stays right in the middle of the plate. Just didn't do what he thought it was going to do.
2 ball 2 strike count. Span was going in. He just missed. He was headed to second base.
Well, Gary, you know, one of the ways of stopping the running game is to hold the ball just a little bit longer, and he does that. And when he does, watch him start leaning. Oh, but he's quick enough to get back. Nice little slap tag by Chris Davis.
Well, base runners are taught that pitchers have tendencies. They're, typically they're a 1 or a 2 count to home plate, and I think Spahn picked something up, and he had him timed, but Jake.
Mauer takes that to center. Jones over. He'll get there. So Arrieta gets the out on Mauer's 0 for 2. And there are 2 down after the leadoff single by Span, who remains on at first base. And that will bring up Justin Morneau.
I almost thought that maybe they were running off the field, thinking it's 3 outs.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I was hoping he didn't throw that ball up in the stands.
Well, and I was watching Jake Arrieta. He kind of, it's like, well, maybe that's 3.
Little opening day excitement going on there.
Yeah.
I've thrown enough pitches. I want to leave.
No, I don't think. Well,
only 2 down.
He wants to at least go 5.
Well, that's because the first 3 innings we've only faced 3 batters.
That's right.
And this is here you got a 4th batter this inning.
Morneau's going to go to left. That's the way he hits when he's on. It'll be a base hit. Play by Reimold. Span will stop. So 2 on and 2 down here in the 4th inning. That's only the 3rd hit of the ball game that we've had. The Orioles got the home run by Markakis, and the first hit was this inning by Span for the Twins, and now Morneau single.
Yeah, he had a pretty good pitch right there, a little changeup down and away. And of course, when Justin Morneau is doing his thing, MVP in 2006, and another guy recovering from concussion, not only does he hit the ball to left field, he hits it with power.
Yeah, he can handle the bat better than anybody, and when you have that power threat, you obviously have to be really careful with a hitter like that.
Now an opportunity for Willingham for 2-out RBIs. Willingham, good year last year with runners in scoring position. He hit .313 with 11 home runs with runners in scoring position. He's got Span at second and Morneau at first base. Arrieta, that one's going to go to left. Reimold, Adam ball. That's that. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. 2 are left on base, and the Orioles on their 1 hit have a 2-0 lead. What a glorious day, opening day here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Full house, of course, on hand. A little flyover for the ceremonies. All of the Orioles were introduced, and that young fan got to meet the Orioles and say, let's play ball. And that's exactly what we're doing. And Markakis delivered the first inning home run to give the Orioles the 2-0 lead. It's the only hit they have. 2-1-0 for the Orioles. 0-2-0. Arrieta walking 3 strikeouts. Pavano a walk and a strikeout. And here is Nick Markakis. And we did check on what Jim was talking about. Nick Markakis did not have an opposite field home run last year. He's got 1 home run this year to left field. Here's the 0-1 delivery to him, and Pavano stays away. 1-1.
Well, that's such a great sign, obviously, for Nick Markakis. He worked so hard over the winter with Brian Ebel and Richie Bancells, and he was in good hands because those guys were trainers of the year last year. But to build his strength and obviously this spring to come in a lot stronger after what he'd been through, I mean, it's a great tribute to him.
Yeah, he actually looked at it as a positive. He hit about 400 in spring training and didn't play well in April. He said, maybe I'll get a lot of hits in April this year. He was 1 for 1.
That's right. He had a great spring last year.
Yeah, and the irony is, again, talked about on base percentage. J.J. Hardy working that walk after falling behind Pavano set it up for Nick.
Nick is now 7 for 20 lifetime off Pavano. Pavano comes in with a pitch close but not there, and a leadoff walk for the Orioles here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, Pavano, I mean, 2 years ago pitched a complete game. I did that game here at Camden Yards last year. He gave up 11 runs in 11 2/3 innings. So against the Orioles in 2011, really struggled.
Carl Pavano last year against the Orioles was 0-2 with an 8.49 earned run average in those starts. Lifetime 5 wins, 5 losses against the Orioles. Here at Camden Yards, he's 2-2. 36 years old. Pavano in that #1 spot for them. And Markakis back to the bag on the throw. Adam Jones grounded out his first time up. Adam just 2 for 16 lifetime off Pavano. DeMarlo Hale down at third base passing the signs along here. They're going to play the infield with a big hole between first and second for Jones, and they're playing in at third as though he might bunt, as Valencia was a step in on the grass.
Well, he does show bunt, and again, when you do it is really important, because if you do it with 1 strike, they just take a step back, go back, play in normal position. But again, if you can bunt, I don't think there's a bunting situation with a man on, but the threat of it, you got to defend it.
Valencia backs up now. Here's the 1-0 delivery, and that's in there.
He has a lot of value offensively. Obviously, he shows he can hit the long ball, but he's got enough speed where he can lay those bunts down. And I'll tell you what, he works at it every day in batting practice. He bunts like the first 2 or 3 balls of every round down that third base line.
It's also how you do it. Some players get in there and everybody bunts on the first go around, and they just kind of lay a bat on it and bunt it. But he tries to get a base hit bunt down every time.
It's a part of his game. It's a huge part of his game.
Well, you played with Robbie Alomar, Hall of Famer, and he would come out at home here. He'd be out here every day.
Yeah.
But again, he could do everything. I mean, he could steal bases and hit home runs. I mean, there's a little bit of Adam Jones as there was in Robbie Alomar. I mean, a multifaceted offensive player.
Adams got a 1-ball 2-strike count on him. Markakis with a decent lead at first. Nick may do a little more running this year on the base paths. But Joel would like for him to be a little bit more, at least, aggressive in his leads over there to make pitchers think that he's going to do a little running, because he's been successful when he runs. He just hasn't run very much.
Yeah. And against Pavano, I mean, they were 24 out of 29 last year. Again, you know, being over 6'5" and a little deliberate, even though Maurer, again, he only caught 47 games last year. He's one of the better throwers, through almost right behind Wieters at 37-38% of the runners that try to steal.
See what John starts with a 1-2. Pavano uses that high set, and that's going to be down the line into left field. Willingham's going to have to wait for this one to come off the wall. Markakis on his way to third. It'll be a double for Adam Jones. Orioles 2 on and nobody out.
Well, that's a great bit of hitting right there by Adam Jones. I don't know that Pavano really wanted to leave that pitch on the inside, you know, covering part of the plate in there. I think it was a pretty good pitch. He just kind of gator armed it out there. Boom. That's a great bit of hitting. I'm sure he wanted him to take that pitch to set up the slider away, right?
Well, again, we talked about the lack of velocity. I mean, this is not the Carl Pavano that signed with the Expos and threw in the mid-90s. So right there, again, not enough velocity to get it by him. But certainly off the plate, great at bat.
And Matt Wieters excelled in these situations last year. Wieters 321, runners in scoring position. Play's going to go to first. They'll get the out, but Wieters will get the RBI. Markakis scores, and the Orioles add another. It's 3-0.
Well, Barty, you're down at spring training every year. I mean, when you played, when you coached, when you broadcast, they talk about situational hitting. Perfect example there.
It sure is. You know, they have made a concerted effort to improve in those situations with runner at third base and less than 2 outs or less than an out. Try to get him in, and all you have to do is just what Matt Wieters did. Not too much, just hit a ground ball up the middle. He gets the out, but we got the run, which is very important.
And then you move the runner over. And now they're going to play their infield in. Make Betemit a better hitter.
Yep, Betemit up. Betemit flying out his first time up to center. Good breaking ball. The Twins will try and cut this run off with Adam Jones with good speed at third base. A 3-0 lead. Orioles 3 runs on just 2 hits. Each team with a couple of hits in the ball game. The Orioles have been able to take advantage of it. Betemit also a good hitter with runners in scoring position last year. He hit .329. He's the DH for the O's.
And again, Pavano wants to make him hit it on the ground. He wants to get a ball in the air. Sounds so simple, doesn't it?
It really does.
Everybody in. DeMarlo Hale, the third base coach, walking Jones off the bag, literally walking with him. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way. Betemit jackknifes away from a pitch that's inside, and Pavano falls behind him 2-1. Betemit has had some at bats against Carl Pavano. He's 5 for 16. Most of the Oriole hitters have had a few at bats. Markakis, Jones, Betemit have had a number. Betemit will not bite on these pitches that are not in there.
And I think the other side of the coin, Gary, is that Carl Pavano looks at the scoreboard, looks at Arrieta, and says, I can't give up another run. I'd rather face Reynolds, a strikeout guy, maybe a double play guy, even though he's a fly ball hitter. I'm not going to give in to him.
3 ball, 1 strike count. Betemit, chopper down to first, runner not going. It is a fair ball, and the tag is put on and a big out. Parmalee that time able to handle that one and hold the runner. Masson's 30 prizes in 30 days contest is going on now through May 5. Log on to Facebook.com/Masson Orioles and enter for your chance to win exclusive Orioles gear presented by your local Jeep and Dodge dealers. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer, and Mike Bordick on opening day. Great to have you with us here at Camden Yards. 56 degrees, clear blue skies, and the Orioles kicking it off with a Markakis first inning homer. Adding to it on a ground ball RBI by Wieters. And now Reynolds will try for the 2-out RBI. Jones on at third base. Fly to center his first time up. Goes after the first pitch and goes to center again. Span moves over. And he's got it. And that will do it. The Orioles take advantage of a leadoff walk to Markakis. He scores the run, and the Orioles have the 3-0 lead. speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G. AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Acura. Acura Advance. Orioles on top. Jake Arrieta. And the opening day start with a walk and 3 strikeouts so far against the Twins. Sellout crowd, of course, here on opening day at Camden Yards. These two teams will go right back at it in tomorrow night's game. It'll be Tommy Hunter and Francisco Liriano. Game time first pitch 7:05 here at Camden Yards tomorrow. Ryan Doumit. Doumit, a strikeout victim. He was called out on strikes his first time up. The Orioles put the shift on against him, sending Hardy, the shortstop, over to the other side of second base, leaving Reynolds alone, and he shows bunt, and he meant it. He was going to try and put one down to third against the shift.
Well, this is exactly the reason that you've seen Ortiz, you've seen Luke Scott, you've seen a lefty. They put it on, you're down by 3 runs. You know, if it's a tie ball game or you want to add runs, maybe you go for the long ball, but that's percentage baseball when they put that shift on.
That's right.
Did they ever put a shift on you, Brody?
Foul.
No, I never got shifted. Actually, yeah, they shifted to right field. I couldn't pull the ball the first half of my career.
Well, you know, when I saw you, you made one of the great. You were one of my favorite players because of your work ethic. But you had trouble on the outside corner, and then all of a sudden, you started hitting balls with authority to right field. You made a terrific adjustment. Just wishing you'd steal about 30 bags. You know,
No, I never had that kind of speed, Jim. But
never enough, Bordy. Never enough.
I know.
These pitchers want it all.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to be my teammate at steal 30 bases. Not if you were the opponent.
A 1-ball, 2-strike count. And Doumit will take it. He is a switch hitter. Doumit hit .315 off the lefties last year, .299 off right-handers, so not much of a difference. He had about 3 times as many at bats as you would expect against right-handers. Doumit, Valencia, Parley up. That'll be fouled back off the fist for a souvenir.
Yeah, broken ankle. Carlos Pena in a collision at Wrigley Field in late May last year. I remember when he came in with the Pirates probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and they were like the 3rd best. They had Freddie Sanchez, they had Jason Bay, they had an offensive juggernaut there.
Got a hold of that one to center field. Jones had it lined up immediately. Puts it away, and Doumit is retired. Our PNC Inside the Numbers brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Most inning pitched by relievers 2011. Jim Johnson at the top. You really don't want that.
Well, you don't want him if he's going to be the closer.
No.
Or unless he's going to get 91 saves.
You just as soon have your relievers down and your starters up. By the way, Jim Johnson is the closer after all the non-committal by Buck Showalter. Underneath it, Jones again. Valencia is retired. The funny part was, and Buck was talking about that this morning, there's Jim Johnson. When a note was sent by the manager to Jim and his wife on the new baby, he put at the bottom, and oh, by the way, you're the closer. That's how he said I told him that the job was his. Not that there really was much of a question, I don't think, about that, but
I think only the question would be health.
Yeah.
Because of the herniated disc early on in his back.
And here's the young first baseman. 2 down, nobody on.
And I'll tell you what, in watching JJ this spring, you know, his velocity was down a little bit, but his movement was incredible.
Well, scouts will marvel, not to mention hitters. How do you throw that hard and get that kind of sink?
Yeah, incredible. Man.
And then he's got a great changeup and a swooping curveball. He doesn't use a whole lot.
Pretty good 90-mile-an-hour slider right there. Parmalee, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Here's the 1-1 delivered to him, and a strike is in there. He had him fooled. He was guessing.
Well, I was talking to Chris about what you said about never really until September missed AAA last year, coming right out of AA, and he said he just hopes to get good pitches to hit, but he will find the guys have a little bit better stuff, better command. And then they're probably a little bit better scouted at the major league level than you are at the Eastern League.
Well, there's no doubt about it. The biggest adjustment, too, is obviously the scouting. But, you know, if you show any kind of weakness at the plate, they're going to expose it right away. And it only takes a day. And plus pitchers like Jake Arrieta, you know, have 4+ pitches.
Parmalee will take that one inside. That one near the kitchen, but not the pantry.
Yeah, a little don't be leaning out there. And that's the one you're actually happy that he didn't get hit, because you're ahead in the count. Now it's even at 2-2.
2 down, nobody on. Arrieta's delivery took a little off that pitch. It's fouled away. Parmalee last year played a double-A, hit .287, was called up, as we told you, just tore it up, hit .355, 76 at bats in 21 games with the Twins after the call up last year. And as Jim mentioned, he was named the best defensive first baseman in the Eastern League by Baseball America. Good pitch by Arrieta. He got him to lean out over the plate for it. Jones is there, and he's got a busy day in center field and an even busier innings. Adam Jones gets all 3 of the putouts. The Orioles have a 3-0 lead. Scary Thorne along with Jim Palmer and Mike Bordick. Great to have you on board so far for Arrieta, Jim. Pretty good performance.
Well, they got the early runs for him. His stuff's been not unhittable because he's given up some hits, but really special. And then when they've gotten those runs, he's had those shutdown innings, and that's the way you want to do it. The Orioles have 3 runs. You like to have that when you have that kind of stuff, because they're going to have to get score, and now all of a sudden you keep getting those shutdown innings. Now your guys have a chance to come up and get you more runs.
And Mike, while the Orioles may not have a lot of hits up on the board, they've been an advantageous offense so far in this game.
Oh, no doubt about it. Pavano's given up 2 walks, and we've been able to capitalize on both walks with 3 runs.
And Nick Markakis in the middle of the order delivering that first inning home run.
Beautiful swing, right?
The Orioles would love to see more of that, obviously, because we've talked so much in spring about that middle of the lineup and what Buck Showalter was going to do with that. And it's still, as we said, an issue for him that's probably going to be altered from day to day, but so far so good in game 1. Here's Chris Davis. Davis leading it off, Andino to follow, then the top of the order, Reimold. Pavano will miss outside with it. 2 walks and 1 strikeout so far in the ball game for the 36-year-old right-hander of the Twins.
Well, if Markakis can get out there for another 158, 159 games, and Jones does the same, it'd be really nice to have those 2, 3, and 4 the whole year.
Well, you made a point in your open, Mike, where you talked about the home runs were not the problem for the Orioles. They were 4th in the league. They hit 191, a little higher on base percentage. Cut down the strikeouts. Davis and Reynolds, of course, they have the tendency to strike out a lot.
There's a stop. Parmalee gets the pitcher covering and makes it to Pavano to get the out. Nice play. Denied him an extra base hit. Well, the young first baseman gets it done. The Mid-Atlantic Sports Report returns Monday, 5 to 6:30. Tom Davis, Mel Antonin, Phil Wood, Dave Johnson. They cover all the news from the world of baseball. Live interviews, live batting practice, and you can see it weeknights at 5 on Massive.
Well, there was your defensive first baseman you guys were talking about earlier, right? Pretty nice play right there.
Pitcher's best friend takes away a double. Instead of have a guy at second being down by 3 runs, you have an out.
Happens so quickly. Kind of plays that can be forgotten in a ball game that change the whole complexion. Pavano with the breaking ball in for a strike to Andino. Andino grounded out his first time up. Mike and I were taking a look at the scoreboard. I can't believe this. The Yankees are playing at Tampa Bay. It's their opener. They're in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and the score is 6-5. Yankees over Tampa Bay. That's CC and Shields.
Yeah, well.
And indoors.
Well, it's early, and I mean, you had Tampa Bay with the best starting pitcher in the league, and Shields had an incredible year last year, like 11 complete games. had like lapped the field 3 or 4 times, other than maybe Roy Halladay in the National League.
High in the air to left field, and Dino gave it a ride. It's going to be shy of the warning track or just on it, and Willingham pulls it in, and Andino's retired. 2 away here in the 5th inning.
No, the one thing about Tampa, the Orioles in Tampa just about had the same offense last year, but they went out and got Carlos Peñas back in a Ray uniform. So we know he'll walk a lot, he'll strike out a lot, and he'll try to hit a home run pretty much every time up.
I think for baseball, the baseball gods always like to give reminders and early in the season when you got these 2 teams so highly touted and both talking about their pitching staffs. The gods sometimes like to put their little finger in the pot and just stir it around a little bit.
Yeah, here, have a 16 ERA going in the first month of the season, and then see where you go.
Yeah.
But hard and foul.
Well, that's a great point, because as good as you were in 2011, they take away the wins, the ERAs, the home runs, all the things that you do, whether you're a hitter or a pitcher, and you start from scratch.
Yeah.
So that ERA can get to 79 pretty quick.
Right.
I mean, Pavano last year in his first start gave up 7 runs and 8 hits in his first start, and came back and one-runned him for 8 innings the next start. Same guy, 5 days apart. You just don't know in this game.
If he could explain that,
no,
you'd make $1 gazillion. That's a broken back ground ball to third. Danny Valencia, nice play. He knew Reimold's speed. We saw him the last time up. Reimold retired 1-2-3 inning for Pavano. The Orioles opening day at home, up by 3. In game 2 of this 3-game set against the Twins, Tommy Hunter on the mound for the O's against Francisco Liriano. Our coverage on Masson HD begins at 6:30 with O's Extra, presented by Jeep, followed by game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on Masson. The sun soaked down the right field line. Those in the shade on the left-hand side. The shadows moving out, as you can see, towards the plate. Arrieta with a walk and 3 strikeouts so far. He has had a couple left on in the 4th inning when he gave up 2 singles. One of those came with 2 down, though, and that's been the only chance so far for the Twins. Alexei Casillas shows bunt. Did he go after it? No.
Well, that goes to your point. 5 innings, retired the first batter in 4 of them. They're looking for offense because, again, bottom of the order, trying to get on for the top of the order as they get the hit for the 3rd time again. Jake Arrieta, who's just been outstanding with stuff.
Out bunting there.
Yeah.
Arrieta's not lost a game against the American League Central as he went 5-0, a 3.09 ERA against the Central. In his 11 career starts, he is 6-2. 5-0 his last year. Jim was talking about those starts against the Central. He'd love to continue that streak here today. Here's Casillas, and that ball moving, but not in for a strike. 2-1.
Yeah, talking about Justin Verlander on his way to winning a Cy Young and the MVP, was 14-1 against the Central. Little breaking ball miss there. Just
there's the lay down.
Yeah.
Arrieta.
I'll tell you, it's like Christmas coming early when they bunt it right back to you.
Yeah, right. I wish he would have used his glove, but
well, can't have everything, can
no,
you?
no.
Well, that's spoken like a true shortstop.
Right.
What'd you tell me? 39 games at third base in your career?
Yeah.
Everything pretty good, except he bunts it right back to Jake.
Right, and you know they're going to keep trying to do stuff like that.
Surprised we haven't seen even more of it, Mike.
Well, it makes sense because what happens if you could see him on, they're going to probably, because he can run, you'll have to hold him on, opens up a hole for Span. All of a sudden, maybe you get a couple of guys on for your big thumpers coming up.
Span's got a single, 1 for 2 in the ball game. Reynolds in at third base. He does not show bunt. Pitch will be taken inside, and a 1-ball 1-strike count on Span at the top of the order. Jamie Carroll waiting on deck.
Because in some lineups, your setup men can be your 9th place hitter. And I think that's what Casilla, that's what it's going to be in this lineup.
1-1 delivery, and again will miss inside, and it will go to 2-1.
Yeah, I see Jake Arrieta with a better windup and being healthy. I mean, the curveball, it's really sharp. By the end of the year, he'll probably take a little bit off it. You know, maybe just drop it on the outside part of the plate, try to get the hitter out on his front foot.
Came at him that time, and he got it in there for a strike. Tim Cheater, the home plate umpire. Veteran crew, Jeff Nelson, Bill Welke, Chris Gutzion, working the ball game today as they get their season underway after the umpires' spring training. 2-ball 2-strike count on Span. Outfield playing him to left, big gap right center. Span trying to drive it. Will hold the count at 2-2 in the foul ball. Minnesota team lost 99 games last year, finished in last place. Not where the Twins are used to being. A ball club that over the decades has been a competitor in their division, and many years a winner.
Yeah,
now rebuilding.
Yeah, 6 of the last 9 years they won their division. 2 years ago, 94 wins.
2-2 delivery jammed him. Fair ball. Arrieta. Gotcha.
Nice to have a big target down at first in Chris Davis.
That was a really good play right there. I mean, that just shows you the athleticism of Jake Arrieta.
That's 3 assists he's got. Our Subway game flow. Arrieta helping his own cause with 1-3 plays, 3 of them in the ball game. Not walking anybody, only 1 in the game, 3 strikeouts. Solid so far. And the Orioles, 2 RBIs, Markakis on a homer, Wieters with a ground ball RBI, and the 3-0 lead. Jamie Carroll. Is that pitch a slider that we're seeing that's moving like that?
Yeah, well, he cuts the ball a little bit, but I think that's his slider because he does have 4 pitches.
That pitch is really moving. Here's the 0-1 delivery, ground ball towards second base. Carroll's going to be retired as Andino makes the play. That is the 1-2-3-4th 1-2-3 inning. The Orioles didn't have that many last year combined. sports.com/fan guide for a chance to win a VIP experience for 2 this year MLB World Series game. Presented by Scott's, the official lawn care company of MLB. Orioles up by a score of 3-0 in the first of 3 against the Twins. The opener here at Camden Yards. Pavano and Arrieta going at it. Orioles will have Hardy, Markakis, and Jones due up. Hardy drew that walk in the first inning and scored ahead of Markakis on the homer. He grounded out in the 3rd. Carl Pavano with the 0-1 delivery to him. Hardy going for the downs.
He got away with one there. It looked like a hanging changeup. One thing about Carl Pavano, for a big guy, they always talk about it, again at 36, so got a lot of experience. Do you get over your front side? Do you throw the ball downhill? He does such a terrific job. Watch him. Reminds me a little bit of Mike Messina in the sense. Watch him get over his front side and be able to get the ball to that outside corner.
The other thing, I mean, Rick Sutcliffe was here to throw out the first pitch today, as he did 20 years ago. There's almost a little hook in Pavano's.
Yeah, well, they get right about there. He just kind of gets that arm straight. Now, Rick Sutcliffe, who is a marvelous pitcher, he'd actually kind of set it back there.
Yeah.
But it would be part of his windup, and he was very deliberate. And obviously, you can't do that with runners on base from the stretch, but. And then I loved it. He said, hey, at my age, man, I can't go 3-2 on everybody because they'll see too many pitches. And then he'd go 3-2 on everybody and make a perfect pitch.
Here's the 2-2 delivery to Hardy, and the former Twins got a base hit. So Hardy, he came in with a .312 batting average against the Twins. His former team picks up a single, and the Orioles have the leadoff man on in the 6th inning. Nick Markakis, a big day already in the opener. He started it in the 1st inning.
Yeah, with that home run, 9th career home run versus the Twins right there. And we had talked about it earlier. That's his first home run to left field in a long time.
And then he followed that up with a walk in the 4th inning and would come around to score later after a double by Jones, a ground ball out by Wieters. Well, let's see if the Orioles can manufacture some more here. Nick Markakis. Pavano's delivery to him, and that's a strike. Nick now with a homer, 7 for 20 and 1 home run lifetime off Pavano. Markakis checking with DeMarlo Hale. Hardy down at first base. Second baseman Casilla, even with a left-handed batter up, he plays over towards the bag if there's a runner on at first base. Twins give you a pretty big hole in these situations between first and second.
Well, the important thing, and I mean, there's Casilla, and what we're talking about is, I think a lot of second basemen, they don't want a ball hit to their left, and to get into right field and get to first and third. But you still want him to play where you think they're going to hit the ball. So they'll be cheating in a couple of steps. I always say, hey, get back, just get one, especially when you're down by 3 runs, or even if you're up by 3 runs, even more so.
Markakis lays off that one. Bear in mind, for Nick, one of the things happening is he's really getting his batting eye back. He did not get into competitive play until halfway through spring training, so he's still working a little bit on getting that strike zone set in his mind. He was swinging at some pitches Markakis would never swing at in spring training, just because he hadn't had enough at bats, and those were the kind of pitches right there that he lays off. Runner goes, hit and run on, fouled off.
Well, you got about another inning before the shadows really come into play here. They're right about even with the back edge of home plate. So again, you're probably going to see the ball as well as you're going to see it all afternoon right here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, you're right. As soon as those shadows creep out over there, I mean,
what's it like? I mean,
what a pitcher's advantage.
Well, you're trying to pick up the spin, the speed.
Yeah, you can't see any of it. Any of the spin.
See if he goes again. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Pavano will try and get him leaning back to the bag just in case.
I think the one concern with Nick, and we had talked about this a little bit earlier, was the fact that he hadn't gone back-to-back days in the field. He had played right field and then DH'd the next day, but there's a little bit of a concern. How's he going to respond here playing this first week every day? But offensively, I don't think there's any concern about Nick Markakis hitting and his, he has great control of that strike zone.
2-ball, 2-strike count. Hardy not going. Markakis talking about turning on a ball.
Well, that's what you like to see. And, again, you don't have a guy. I mean, if you go back and look at the numbers, when you get up in 92, 93, maybe Nick's a little bit slow, but Pavano not one of these guys. I mean, look at the bat head to the ball.
That's incredible. Up and in fastball. Now, if there is, 5 more miles an hour on there, he's not going to get there.
But again, 2-2. Of course, Pavano would love to get Nick to chase the ball out of the zone, and Nick's hoping to get a strike to hit.
He's going to come right back in there.
Look over again. Markakis with a homer in this game now has 9 lifetime home runs against the Minnesota Twins. 9 home runs in 42 games against the Twins for Markakis. Go along with a .244 batting average against them. The outfield is very deep. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Time of the game where Pavano knows can't give up anymore, so he's keeping a very close eye on Hardy, the leadoff man, on with that single.
Yeah, JJ will tell you, he'll be the first guy to tell you, I don't steal a lot of bases. He had the ankle problem last year. So I'm pretty good in straight lines, but
not going. A floater that's going to miss outside, and the count is full, 3-2.
Yeah, Mike, I always wondered about that. If you're going to be a good infielder, you were a terrific infielder. What, 110, 12 games without an error? JJ hardly ever makes an error. You have to have quick feet, but a lot of shortstops, second basemen don't steal bases.
Right. Well, there's a difference between quickness in the infield and speed running the bases, because good base stealers.
There he goes. Ball put up in the air to right. Ball traveling to the warning track wall, and it goes off the fence. At second base, Hardy. He'll come around to score. Played by Span. It'll be a triple. What a day for Nick Markakis, and the Orioles have a 4-0 lead.
Well, there's your catcher in right field. High sky, a lot of wind. Really good base running by Nick Markakis, because he just runs right out of the box, and this ball's belted up into the sun. And there is Ryan Domit. Again, not playing a lot of right field. Center fielder can't get to it, can't call him off. Kadira probably would have caught it, but he's in Colorado. 4-0. Runner at third and nobody out.
A 3 RBI ball game in the opener for Nick Markakis on all 3 times up, and he scored 2 runs. The infield again is going to be drawn in. Adam Jones has a double, and he is grounded out. Orioles now with 4 hits in the ball game. And the pitch misses outside for a ball. Nick Markakis, an opposite field homer, and then he puts one in the power alley in right center to pick up the triple, bringing Hardy in. Hardy just stood on second base, waiting to see if the ball was going to be caught or not, because he knew he'd have time to get back if it was. Off the end of the bat, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, the Orioles once moved Randy Milligan, a first baseman, to left field opening day. And the Vice President of the United States, Dan Quayle, was in the booth, and he goes, routine fly ball to left. And I said, Mr. Vice President, there are no such things as routine fly balls to left. And nothing against Randy Milligan, but he hadn't really played a lot of outfield. And that was one of those tough plays for a guy that doesn't really play out there very often.
Nick Markakis is getting all the oddities in for him today. He had only 1 triple last year, so he's got that done. He had no opposite field home runs. He's got that done. He's got a 3 RBI day going, and a chance to score his 3rd run of the ball game if Jones can get him in. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Adam puts it up in the air. It is not deep. Willingham got a late break. Runner's going to go halfway. And the catch is made by Jamie Carroll. Wow, the shortstop went out and pulls it in over his shoulder.
That's a great heads-up play right there by Jamie Carroll. And not too many infielders would go back on that fly ball because they're playing in that situation. But very good heads-up play. Didn't give up on it. Realized that Willingham wasn't going to be able to get in there. He made a nice play.
Boy, that's a tough catch.
That really is.
See, right here he goes back to tag up, and again, if he goes back a little more aggressively, he probably scores on that ball.
Nobody thought the infielder was going to catch it.
Well, I wasn't even looking at Carroll. I was looking at Willingham because I just thought it was a routine fly ball to left.
Rick Peterson, the pitching coach, will come out now with the runner at third and 1 down, and Wieters coming to the plate with Betemeet to follow. The Twins will get their bullpen active against Minnesota, at least early on, and with a lot of teams. That's where you're trying to get to, that bullpen, because right now they're not sure what they've got. It's a restructured bullpen, and Ron Gardenhire said this morning, I just don't know. He said, but I'll tell you one thing. I got a lot of young power pitchers that we sent down, and if this thing doesn't work early, there's going to be some quick hooks.
Yeah, you saw Jeff Gray. We saw him in Seattle with the White Sox. Even their closer, Matt Capps, who struggled last year with 9 blown saves, did not have a good spring. But right now, the immediacy, Rick Anderson going out there, okay, what do you want to do here? Jerry White talking to the skipper, Ron Gardenhire. They're going to play their infield in. Do we want to pitch to him very carefully, which obviously they'll try to do.
Wieters with one away. Got 1 RBI and a ground ball, and he will take the strike. He has grounded out twice in the ball game. 3 hits, 10 at bats, including a home run. Lifetime off Pavano. Center fielder Span moves over to left a bit. They give Wieters that right center power alley right there. And pitching that way as the first 2 pitches have been away.
Well,
Orioles up 4-0.
I think a lot of times, and you know, Mike, you know better than me, is from a hitter's, you're trying to get a ball in the air, but you also want to make him throw you strikes.
Right. Well, Matt's looking for a pitch up and out over the plate. His strength is left center. So he's looking for something up and out over.
Yeah, Pavano hits the inside corner.
Right. Well, now he's got to protect.
Worked him away twice and came back in, and a 1-ball 2-strike count on Wieters. It's a big run out there. The Orioles getting 1 in already, and then to have a runner at third, nobody out, you got to get him in the inning. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Wieters down the line in left field. Willingham giving chase. Runner tagging in foul territory. It's caught. Here's the throw made by Willingham to the plate, and it's there. And Mauer's got it, and they get the out. It is a double play to end the inning as Willingham went over to the line. Really has a below average arm, but he got a good throw right there on the money, and Markakis can't get around Mauer. Orioles get a run in, extend the lead to 4-0. Promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Sellout crowd enjoying Miller time, 46,773 on hand here at Camden Yards today, and enjoying the Orioles performance so far, both at the plate, where the Orioles have seen a big day from Nick Markakis and a 4-0 lead, and Arrieta on the mound, who continues into the 7th inning. A walk and 3 strikeouts. He's used his D, though. The 3 strikeouts, he had those through the first 2 2/3 innings. And since then, only a couple of singles. Very busy day in center field today We're looking at 5 putouts that have been made by Adam Jones in the ball game. Here is Joe Mauer, 1-0 count on him. Mauer 0 for 2 is hit into a double play and flied out. Arrieta will miss away to him, and the count will go to 2-0. So the middle of the order: Mauer, Morneau, and Willingham. There are the shadows we were talking about. They're halfway.
Which is kind of a moot point if you're unable to throw it over. It's something that Jake hasn't had a problem to this point. So right now, 4-run lead. The next 3 pitches ought to be right for the middle of the plate. Hope they go somewhere in that proximity. They can put the ball in play.
Mauer taking, and 4 out of the zone, and the leadoff man is on. Second walk surrendered. First one came to the second batter of the ball game. And now a leadoff walk in the 7th inning. That is the first time the Twins have had the leadoff man on in the ball game. And Morneau coming up. He has a single, and he is grounded out. A .284 lifetime average against the Orioles. 9 home runs for Morneau in 49 games played against the O's. Infield double play depth. Morneau will take it away for a ball. 5 in a row out of the strike zone. Morneau and Mauer missed a combined 173 games last year. That's a big ouch, and that's one of the reasons this team lost 99 games. You see the walks per 9 innings.
There you go. And of course, that's a guy that was struggling with health, the bone chip. So we hope that those numbers will come down.
1-1 delivery. Morneau will foul it back.
So again, he wanted that pitch right there. 2-1 fastball, 92, probably the least amount of velocity hitters count. But again, a good enough movement. And blustery weather, cool weather, I always thought it makes the ball move a little bit more.
Shadows.
Yeah.
Short lead at first base for Mauer. 1-2 delivery. Same result. Back, foul ball, same spot. Count will stay at 1-2. Morneau says he feels 100%. No effects of the concussion problems have arisen in spring training. So he comes into the season hoping that he is back and able to play a full year. Here's the 1-2 delivery again. Arrieta gets it in. That one down the line and left. Reimold with a long run. Not going to be able to get there.
Yeah, you talked to Justin Morneau. He was talking about yesterday. Hoped to be back at least from a defensive standpoint by the time they get to interleague.
Well, I think that helps players. I know a player like Morneau probably feels better about his overall game if he's in the field.
Yeah, Brian Roberts said, really making strides. He said, but I don't get to do what I want to do, which is to play today.
Right.
And you know how important he is to and has been to the Orioles.
1-2 delivery on the way, and he got him. Big pitch.
Well, that's that pitch you talked about earlier, Gary, that slider. It's kind of what they call a backdoor slider. Started a little bit away. Look at the glove from Matt Wieters. I think Justin Morneau thinks it's a little bit low, but it isn't. Right on the corner. Perfect pitch.
2 of the 4 Ks have been called third strikes on pitches like that. Here is Josh Willingham, one down. Mauer still on at first base. Willingham has flied out to right and left. Mauer not going anywhere at first base. And there's another strike. Arrieta bearing down.
Well, we have seen Matt Wieters over the last 2 years, even though the pitching staff has struggled, really take command of what the young pitchers do. And I think we've seen that this afternoon. More fastballs. And then again, when he needed the breaking ball on a couple of occasions, he's been able to put the right fingers down.
Just missed inside. Willingham, a career .262 hitter coming into the season. He's played with the Florida, Washington, Oakland last year with a .246 average and just under 500 at bats. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Well, pitch count at 92. Boy, make your pitch with a good slider, maybe a good breaking ball, get a ground ball, turn 2. Maybe looking at a complete game.
And that's going to miss outside. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Willingham unwilling to go after it. 4-4-0 for the Orioles. 0-2-0 for the Twins. 2 singles in the 4th inning. Span and Morneau have been the only hits so far for Minnesota. The 2-1 pitch to him. A chopper down to third base. Reynolds running throw. Only play at first. He got it. 2 down. Our minor league report brought to you by PNC for the achiever in you. Take a look at one of the great stars of the future, hopefully for the Orioles. Jonathan Scope, 290, 13 home runs, 71 RBIs. You know him well, Mike.
Oh, yeah, one of our fine prospects. He's in Bowie. And last night I heard he hit a double. Manny Machado's down there as well in Bowie, so it's going to be pretty exciting to follow those guys through the summer.
Didn't Machado clock one?
Machado hit a home run.
First time up.
Yeah. Yeah, they're special players.
Here's Ryan Doumit, runner on at second base. And the pitch is inside for a ball. Doumit has been called out on strikes and flied out. Orioles will get bullpen action. Matt Lidstrom, one of the new additions from last year to the Orioles bullpen.
They're part of the Jeremy Guthrie trade. Guthrie going to the Rockies.
Guthrie starts tonight for the Rockies in their ball game, I think against Houston. Doumit will take it away 2-0.
Well, they wanted a starter that can give them a lot of innings, and Jeremy 3 consecutive years, 200 innings or more. Had a good spring.
Orioles say shift on Ryan Doumit in the infield. Look out. Jerry White, the first base coach, watching that one go whizzing by his head. Doumit fouls it off, and a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Never safe. Never safe out there.
Pretty good ball player right there.
You mean coaching?
Coaching. 2-1 on Doumit. Runner at second base. Tampa Bay. That one high in the air to right field. Markakis is going to say Minnesota's not had a runner to third in this ball game. It's 7th inning stretch time, brought to you by Jack Daniels Tennessee Honey. Fly straight. Drink responsibly. In the ball game for the O's.
Nick Markakis has been the key, getting on base, obviously drawing the walk, but the 2-run home run there in the first inning really set the tone for this offense today.
Jim?
And you wanted better starting pitching, and you got it. And if they win today, you're going to be undefeated.
That's right.
Do you know that?
I was undefeated in spring training.
Oh, he's keeping count.
Really? Jeez. But who's counting, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh,
yeah.
already.
Oh.
One of the things the Orioles talked about Showalter, the starters, Jim, have got to go deeper. They get what they wanted so far today from Arrieta.
Well, it's a great combination. And, last year they beat Tampa Bay the first 3 games down there. Similarly, what they've done today, stayed close early. Today, of course, they got some early runs, but they outpitched them. 6-1 start for the Orioles. Boy, it's nice. I pitched, I think, 6 opening days. It's great. They haven't won this game, but it's great to pitch well and give your team a chance to win. And I think that's what Buck wants from his starting staff.
The other thing, Mike, we haven't had time to talk about is the defense. So far today, they've handled the ball.
They have handled the ball well. Well, Jake Arrieta's helped himself. He's made 5 unassisted plays. They turned that double play in the 2nd inning or 3rd inning, I believe. And Adam Jones out in center field has really had a busy day.
They've got to do that if they're going to be successful.
There's no doubt about that. This team cannot make mistakes. They have to play as clean a baseball as they can defensively.
And so far, so good in this one. So we'll see how they finish it up. Arrieta getting the congratulations in the start. He obviously is done for the day, but he's given the Orioles what they needed. He got through the 7 innings, giving up no runs on 2 hits in this opening day start here at Camden Yards. But we're not done yet. Orioles would like to put some more up against Pavano. Pavano with a strikeout and 2 walks so far in the ball game. And the Orioles, Wilson Betemeet will lead it off. Betemeet has flied out, grounded out. Designated hitter for the Orioles will take it for a strike. Pavano has not pitched badly in this game. It's just that the Orioles, when the opportunities have been there, they've taken advantage of it and picked up the runs off him. His pitch will miss outside and a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, it is very difficult to win without run support. Not very often in the modern game do you see guys winning 1-0 unless you're Roy Halladay, able to do that yesterday.
Down the line, that's going to fall in for a base hit. So Betemeet's got his first hit as an Oriole. Takes the big turn, forcing the throw in by Willingham, and the Orioles get the leadoff man on again. They experience Camden Yards in an exciting new way with the Oriole Park 5-bagger suite package. 1 low price, fully catered, 5 games, including 2 against Yankees, Red Sox, or Phillies, plus parking, VIP treatment, and more. Find out how you can become part of it. For details, Orioles.com/suites. That's the Oriole Park 5-bagger suite package. Reynolds 0 for 2. He's flying out a couple of times to center field. And he will take the pitch inside for a ball. The Orioles now 4 runs on 5 hits in the game. Mark again checking down at third with DeMarlo Hale. Betemeet a base, not necessarily a base stealer now, but a good base runner. And again, a huge hole on that right side if Reynolds could go that way, but he's going for the long ball.
Well, he did it 37 times, and he had 3 months where he hit 8 home runs in June, July, and August. He can hit them. And of course, he's not one of those guys. I think when I think of Twins, I think of Harmon Killebrew. Killer didn't go up there to get fooled and poke one to right.
Here's the 1-1 delivery. Look at some numbers. We talk about the strikeouts and home runs for Reynolds. Those who have had 180 strikeouts and 40 or more home runs in the same season, Reynolds is part of a select group to have done that. Ryan Howard, Adam Dunn, Jim Thome, Cecil Fielder, and Mark Reynolds, the only ones who have ever done that. 180 strikeouts and 40 or more homers. He will foul that one off. With 180 strikeouts and 30 to 39 home runs, Reynolds is the only one who has done that in 2 different seasons, to have between 30 and 39 homers and strike out 180 more times. And he's among a select group with 20 to 29 home runs. Reynolds has also done that with 180 strikeouts. I mean, it's amazing how many strikeouts he's piled up, yet each year that happens, the home runs have always been there with him. That ball down to third is fair. Played by Valencia. That's 1. Casilla, that's 2. And there are 2 away here in the 7th inning. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Nick Markakis, a huge day today. 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored, a 2-for-2 ball game, a walk. Davis and a strike.
Yeah, you take away the missed fly ball. It wasn't a routine play off of the bat of Nick Markakis, and Pavano. 3 runs in 7 innings. Going to win some games for most teams.
106 wins, 102 losses. Pavano lifetime. Pitch is taken inside, 1-1.
Well, this is what you want out of a veteran pitcher, right? Try to be in the ball game. He's in here in the 7th inning, still competing. Didn't get rattled after the first inning 2-run home run, and just kept competing and competing, and here he is.
Well, you made a great point. The irony is that he doesn't, 5th best control in the American League last year, and 2 of the runs it scored are the 4 runs via the walk.
Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way, and Pavano will miss outside with it and falls behind 3-1. He has stayed away from these counts for the most part in this game. So the tank may be getting a little close to empty here in the 7th inning for Kyle Pavano. Here's the 3-1 delivery. High in the air, left center field, Span going back, and he's gone. So that will do it here in the 7th. Despite a leadoff single, Orioles are retired. Lidstrom getting ready in the pen. He'll come on in relief of Arrieta.
So far, good ones for the Orioles. Early 2-run lead. Markakis 2-run shot after J.J. Hardy walked. Jake Arrieta, he's been really special. Couple of walks, 4 strikeouts. Just about everything good. And then Nick Markakis with the triple over the head of Ryan Doman in right field. Makes it 3-0 Orioles. So there it is. The Orioles on top. Lindstrom's coming in to pitch. Big day for Nick Markakis. Jake Arrieta about as good as I've ever seen him. And Carl Pavano pitching well, but again, no run support.
So Matt Lindstrom, the 32-year-old right-hander, acquired in the Guthrie deal with Colorado, will come on and make his first appearance for the Orioles, and will miss outside with it for a ball. Danny Valencia leading it off.
Hard throwing right-hander. 93, used to throw 100. I remember when he was with the Marlins early on, and no matter, can you throw strikes? Can you protect the lead? And they're looking for free passes, walks, some way to get back into this game.
Great performance by Jake Arrieta. Last season, Arrieta had 7 innings 3 times. Did it against Kansas City, Tampa Bay, and Boston. He goes 7 innings in the opener in his first opening day start. Gives up no runs, 2 hits, walks 2, and strikes out 4.
Really crisp. Great windup. I mean, really, Rick Adair's done a nice job. He's healthy. Just what you want from your starter.
And Lindstrom can't find the corner with it, and the count will go to 3-1. Lindstrom started the season on the Rockies' opening day roster. He ended up appearing in 63 games, went 2-2, 54 innings, 52 hits last year. This is his 313th Major League appearance. And that's going to be a base hit into left center field. Jones will get it. Leadoff man on in the 8th inning. And for our post game, tune in to O's Extra, as Jim and Rick will have an analysis of this one, the AT&T Player of the Game. Take a look at the manager and what he has to say afterwards in player interviews, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Chris Parmelee. Parmelee is struck out, flied out. And Lindstrom's pitch will miss for a ball.
And no disrespect to Matt Lindstrom, but do you think that the Twins aren't happy that Arrieta departed?
No doubt
the way he
that.
was pitching. Kind of the name of the game here in the 2012's pitch count.
1-0 count. Parmelee will take it away. Lindstrom almost falling on that one as he ended up turning around after he delivered the pitch. Count goes to 2-0.
Well, it's never been a matter of stuff with Matt Lindstrom. It's always been a matter of command. Power arm.
Orioles bullpen last year was 12th out of 14 teams in ERA, allowed more home runs than any other bullpen in the American League. So it has been revisited. 5 of the new 10 members of the roster this year are pitchers. Starters and relievers. Lindstrom one of those.
Yeah, a lot of new faces in spring training this year, and you know, it's good when we talked about this all spring, just the competition for the pitchers and the guys that could step up. Nice pitch right there, getting back on top.
Well, what, 29 pitchers in camp for the Orioles. Their 40-man roster, 22 of them were pitchers, and they only lost one. Either they're in the minor leagues. Fredo Simon put on waivers. The Twins had 33 in their camp.
Well, they were loaded with a lot of young pitching we were talking about earlier that they wanted to take a look at. Count goes to 2-2 strikes on Parmelee. Ron Gardner watching his computer this morning. His son has got his first manager's job at a Division III college 60 miles outside of Minnesota.
Really?
Yep. Here's the 2-2 delivery, foul back.
I wonder
his
if
son
he
had played in the organization, but they weren't going to sign him again. So he was working. Believe it or not, Ron said he was working with senior citizens from workouts for senior citizens and loved it. But they came along, the college was looking for a coach, came along and asked him, and he wanted to try it. So he's first-year manager.
Well, good luck.
Yeah. 2-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way. That one's put up in the air to left field. Reimold drifting over. Runner halfway. Parmelee is retired. One away in the 8th inning. Show off your Birdland pride and support the many programs aided by ordering the new official Orioles Maryland license plate. Features the popular new cartoon bird. The plate, a great way to show your fandom and to help the community. Proceeds go to the Baltimore Orioles Charitable Foundation. Go to Orioles.com/plates to get your Birdland plate.
Nice job right there by Lindstrom, settling down, starting to attack the strike zone a little bit better.
Well, it looks like Sean Burroughs coming up to pinch hit.
Sean Burroughs, I sent to Mike before the game today. Sean Burroughs was added because of injuries. Out in the air to left field. Reimold again is there. Burroughs is now playing in his 400th year of Major League Baseball. I mean, he seems like he's been around. God love him. He's been around forever.
I did him at the Little League World Series when they won back-to-back titles when he played for Long Beach. And again, I pitched against his dad, who was the MVP in 1974.
He's had an amazing career. Not quite at the expectation level that he came into the majors with, but he's played a lot of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, you tip your hat to a guy like that for persevering, you know.
Yeah, I believe he was out of baseball like for 3 years.
Right.
And here he is again.
And he's out of the inning on one pitch. And there are 2 down. So a runner still at first base. Here's Span. And a strike taken, a single, 1 for 3 in the ball game for the Twins leadoff batter.
Well, if Matt Lindstrom, and you made a good point on that good slider that got Parmelee out, if he can stay behind his slider, we saw Ayala, who learned his slider from Mariano Rivera, was helping him last year, was working with Matt in spring training. He just gets a little anxious and flies open. But when he's direct, he's got awfully good stuff. 93 to 96. Finishes his pitches.
I didn't know that Rivera had a slider.
Well, when he came up, he was working on. Well, really kind of cutter slider. Well, that was actually when Mariano Rivera, a lot of people don't realize, way back in the 90s, his first year, he actually started a couple of games.
Down to third. Reynolds can't get that one. Reimold will give chase. Runner stops at second. Reimold throws behind him. Nice play to hold him. As Danny Valencia made a wide turn, decided not to go. Spans on with his second hit. 2 on, 2 down.
Well, hit it's where it's pitched and just sliced. You can see hit very, very firmly. And here's you can see him. I was watching B.J. Surhoff throw batting practice today. And what Nolan Reimold does, and you played with B.J., he circles the ball, gets to it, has a great angle. And if you're a runner and you look at him get to the ball that quickly and you're 4 runs down, you're not going to advance any bases.
There weren't many that did it better than B.J. Surhoff cutting that ball off down the left field line and throwing guys out of second base.
I was watching him throw batting practice and said, you had a 2-hitter today. Nobody was hitting it.
He had a good arm.
See what he was cutting it, turning it over, not on purpose. But
oh, stop. He wasn't. Was he?
Was he?
Jamie Carroll down to third base. This is a big out. Reynolds throws him off the bag, and it was held by Davis.
Oh, here comes Gardenhire.
The first base umpire, Jeff Nelson, was right on the play and immediately said yes, his foot's on the bag. An enormously important out because you got Mauer and Murnau coming up. If he doesn't, hang on to the bag. Chris Davis with a big defensive play of the game so far, and yep, he had it. No runs, 2 hits. Adam Jones, big day in the outfield and has picked up a double at the plate. And Nick Markakis, a 3 RBI day, 2 runs scored, including an opposite field home run. Text in your vote, A, B, or C to 31826. A very big play to end that inning.
That was a big play. Reynolds comes in, sets his feet, but that ball gets away from him a little bit. Great play by Chris Davis right there, fully extended. And you can tell right there, he keeps that right foot, right toe on the back corner of that base.
It's like a wide receiver trying to stay in bounds.
You're exactly right. That was an awesome play.
Wow.
Good call by Nelson down there at first base.
Unless you're a Twin fan.
You're right.
And here's Jeff Gray coming out of the bullpen in relief of Pavano. Andino goes right at him and picks up a base hit. So Andino gets his first hit of the new season, a leadoff single in the 8th inning.
Well, it's like we'll take a look at a little defensive change.
Look coming on to play at second base as Casillas out of the ball game. He was pinch hit for. A new second baseman and new pitcher, Jeff Gray, to start this inning.
Yeah, it's kind of like sneaking Don through by a rooster to throw a fastball to Andino in the middle of the plate.
You're right.
Orioles now with 6 hits in the ball game. And the pitch is in there to Nolan Reimold, 0 for 3.
One of the great hitters of all time, right here at Baltimore, Frank Robinson. I mean, he sat on a fastball.
Oh, well.
Right?
Did you look?
I looked fastball the whole time because that's usually all they threw me. They didn't waste their time throwing a breaking ball.
It's not right.
Oh, yeah, it is when you have Brady Anderson leading off, you know, hitting behind you.
Troy Patton, one of the couple of the lefties. Zach Phillips now down in Norfolk, AAA, also had a great spring, both of them.
You know,
yet Patton didn't have options and Phillips did, and get the feeling that they would maybe like to have another lefty in the bullpen.
He is the only lefty. Patton is for the moment. That ball blooped. It's got spin on it. Newsomag to play. Got him, but boy, that was a tough one. Andino will go down to second base. Follow the Orioles, MLB.com at bat app for the iPhone, iPad, Android, mobile, Windows Mobile. Live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at bat 31826 to go to Orioles.com. So the Orioles will try and pick up a run here with only one down, and Andino on at second base. J.J. Hardy coming to the plate. Hardy has scored twice, a walk in the first inning, scored ahead of Markakis on the homer, a single in the 6th inning, and scored on the Markakis triple. Now he gets the RBI opportunity. And Gray's pitch to him is there for a strike. 4-0 lead, the Orioles in the opener for the 2012 season. He played so far a very solid game, doing everything that's needed to be done. 0-1 pitch lifted in the air, long and foul.
Trying to hook it down that Hardy line, right?
Oh, well, again, we talked about his ability to attack the ball. He was not healthy when he played for the Twins year before last. Hit 6 home runs last year. He came in and we were there in late August, and he was on his way to 30.
305 runners in scoring position last year for him. Another big number. Pitch will be taken outside. A 1-ball 2-strike count from Jeff Gray, the right-hander, on for Pavano. Pavano went the 7 innings, charged with the 4 runs. He had a strikeout and a couple of walks in the ball game. He gave up 5 hits. Gray's pitch tied up Hardy, but it's going to be inside.
Yeah, that's that 2-seamer that just runs into righties away from lefties.
Twins holding the runner, Andino close at second base. Outfield deep on Hardy. And the 2-2 delivery. And the pitch is high. And it'll go to full, 3-2.
And talk about another guy that looks dead red all the time. That's J.J. Hardy. You know, every once in a while you get the ball in on his fist, but out over the plate. Well, he's in the attack mode.
You know, he really has the great ability to, well, he has great plate coverage, like you said, but even sometimes on those inside pitches, he can gator arm and he can get that bat head to the ball in there as well.
And way up. Gray not even close on those last 2. And the Orioles have runners at first and second with 1 away. And Mauer will head out to the mound.
Yeah, they have 3 lefties in their bullpen. Rick Anderson, pitching coach. And here comes Ron Gardenhire to make a pitching change and match up against Markakis.
So Gardenhire trying desperately not to give the Orioles any more on the board. Will start making the moves with the pen. The O's threatening with 2 on here in the 8th inning. 3 outs away from an opening day win. Have out hit the Twins 6-4 and of the 4-0 lead. Last year when they went 6-2, really put it to them offensively with the run production and differential. That batting average 285 to 209, 11-4 in the home runs, and great starter ERA for the Orioles. Today they've got the 4-0 lead and they're trying to add to it. Left-hander on.
Yeah, Brian Dunsing, he started the year. He had a terrific year in 2010. He's only 29 out of the University of Nebraska. But last year, fastball command all over the place. But one thing he did do, I mean, he went from 10 wins to last year 9-14 with an ERA of over 5 runs a game, but he did get lefties out. So they think he might be a better matchup guy out of your bullpen, which is the case here.
Dunsing, left-handers hit 217 off him. Right-handers hit 330. Woo-ah.
You know, I saw him 2 years ago. I thought, oh, nice breaking ball, good changeup. Looks like he can pitch both sides of the plate. Couldn't do it back-to-back years.
How about the fact he gave up 20 home runs to right-handers and 1 to left-handers?
So he's become a left-handed specialist.
Yes, in a hurry. Nick Markakis 0 for 3 off him.
Which you can do if you have 3 lefties in your bullpen. We'll see how long that lasts.
So Dunsing working to Markakis. Home run, triple, walk, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. 1-0 delivery to him inside. Gets the wrist out of the way, and the count goes to 2-0.
Rides that fastball up and in, kind of got away from him. I know that wasn't a setup pitch either. That one just got away from him.
Handled by Mauer, who came up to get it. Andino let it off with a single. He's at second. Hardy the walk. He's on at first. 2-0 delivery on the way. Markakis got jammed and will foul that one back into the seats. Another big RBI opportunity and all but put this ball game out of reach if the Orioles can do it. The Orioles have left only 1 man on base, and that was back in the 4th inning at third.
And when Nick's on his game, as he was 2 years ago, where he hit almost 350 against left-handed pitching, it doesn't matter what arm you throw it. He really got, I mean, he can keep his front shoulder in with the best of them against tough lefties.
2-2.
You're right. Obviously, that's a key for a left-handed batter to be able to keep that front side in there. But he has no head movement, you know, and I think that's a big key for a hitter to be able to pick up pitches soon enough and to be able to react. And he is so good at that. His head stays perfectly still. He doesn't quite sit and spin like a Barry Bonds or anything like that, but he sees the ball so well.
Andino, Hardy, the base runners. Markakis 261 off lefties, 294 off righties last year. And another fister. And to take a hop off the track and into the seats. Now Nick battles here against Brian Dunsing, and a 2-ball 2-strike count remains.
Yeah, he's looking down at the handle just to see if maybe the bat broke a little bit. You never got jammed, did you?
Oh gosh, my thumb's still swollen. 10 years ago I played.
2-2. Runners go, or one did, and it's fouled off. The lead runner, Andino, took off from second base to third. Hardy started to go at first base and then came back.
Well, I think Andino, you know, just had him timed, but unfortunately there's 2 strikes on Markakis, so probably not the best time to run. You know, as a hitter, probably distracts him a little bit, but
what a great camera shot of that ball going in the glove and almost staying there.
Mauer couldn't quite hang on. 2-2. And Markakis will be a strikeout victim.
Well, you talked about matchups. He gets away with a hanging slider. Nick's going to swing through it. And now here comes Adam Jones. Righty versus lefty.
So Adam Jones will wait to see if Gardner, he looked over to see if Gardner or somebody else is going to come out to make a move here, but Adam had trouble last year against the lefties. He hit only 242 off left-handers and 295 off righties. So he's going to get to face the left-hander Dunsing here. Jones, 1 hit, a double came in the 4th inning. 1 for 3 in the ball game. 2 on. Now there are 2 down. Andino's got a huge lead out there, and the pitch will miss away for a ball. The Twins had been holding, and I think they've got crossed up a little bit right there. Jamie Carroll, the shortstop, came over hollering to his second baseman, like, get closer to the bag. They both were way off. Weren't even close to holding Andino.
Yeah, he plays Jones to pull.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in the hole. I used to look around and I'm going, boy, that's great if you're going to come in and you keep the ball in. Of course, if you come in and you miss, it's going to be a 3-run home run. One of those situations, Mike, where you hope your pitcher, if you're going to play the pull, that he's going to make his pitch.
Well, and that's the key, right? I mean, everybody's got their tendencies, especially offensively, but if your pitcher isn't hitting his spots, you know, look out. You can just throw that stuff out the window.
They're playing into pull, and all 3 pitches have been away.
Yeah.
So a 3-0 count on Jones with 2 down.
Well, you got a guy to hit 339 with 11 of his 22 home runs waiting on deck. Not going to get a whole lot better for the Twins and Ron Gardenhire.
Taking, it's in there for a strike. Adam Jones with a 3-ball, 1-strike count as the Orioles try and add to it here in the 8th inning. Twins will have the middle of their order coming up in the 9th. Mauer, Morneau, and Willingham. 3, 4, 5. Orioles try to put some more on the board before they go to the 9th inning. Benson's 3-1 pitch, and he gets the strike in there.
Yeah, you knew it wasn't going to be a fastball. A little change.
Yeah, well, Jonesy's got to start getting used to this stuff if he's going to be hitting in the 4-hole, that's for sure.
Andino wandering off second base. Hardy off first. 3-2, 2 down. They'll be going. Benson's delivery. Foul back.
Another breaking ball.
Gardenhire pacing here in game 1. His starter, Pavano, gave them a chance. 4 runs, 5 hits over 7. Now the bullpen trying to keep it where it is. Buck Showalter's glove getting out with that 2-run homer by Markakis and expanding that lead with a run in the 4th and a run in the 6th. Here's the 3-2 again. Runners go, and Jones strikes out. So that will end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. The Orioles a chance to win their opening day ball game at home if they can get the 3 more outs. Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Dodge. See your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to dodge.com and check out our powerful lineup. Big sellout crowd of 46,773. They started cheering early, and they've cheered throughout. Troy Patton, the veteran, comes on with a chance to try and wrap this up.
He had a nice little season last year coming to the Orioles. Only 5 walks, 30 innings, pitched very well, got righties and lefties out. And again, I mean, this is a guy, he's the last remnant in a sense from the Miguel Tejada trade all the way back in December of 2007. Luke Scott, he came over, he's with the Rays. Sarfati, I think, is out of baseball. So again, a guy that's your only lefty in the bullpen, and had a great spring.
First opening day roster for Troy Patton.
Yeah.
Joe Mauer. And Mauer will take it up high for a ball. We are in the 9th inning, and the Orioles looking to get this over with right now. Mauer, 234 off the lefties, 319 off right-handers in his limited season last year. Here's the 1-0 delivery to him, and Patton will miss outside, 2-0.
Yeah, Troy, not a hard thrower, but he's got a good changeup, good breaking ball, and again the ability, which you hope he has now, to throw strikes. And again, how often has he pitched in the 9th inning with not a closing situation because it's a 4-run lead, but trying to get the final 3 outs. And you know this is a matchup situation with 2 lefties coming up.
Well, plus Patton's been pretty versatile through his career.
Yeah.
Didn't he come up as a starter?
Yeah, he's kind of a little bit like Brian. Yeah, a little bit like Brian Dunston, where he may be better a matchup guy. A couple of years ago, he was 8-11 down in Norfolk, but did have the shoulder surgery in 2008.
Walked him on 4 straight. Arrieta walked 2. Lindstrom in an inning gave up a couple of hits, no walks, and now Patton gives up a walk here in the 9th.
And the Orioles bullpen gets going.
And with a strikeout, David Thomas, our participant in the Maryland lottery, $900 won today. For your chance to be in the Maryland lottery contestant of the game status, you can play Strike It Rich scratch-offs and enter your non-winning ticket codes at marylandlottery.com/strikeitrich. Here's Morneau.
Jimmy Johnson getting loose. They do not play behind Mauer at first base. Of course, Davis holding him on. A lot of times you will maybe play behind him, take away that hole. Gets away with a high breaking ball.
Morneau really struggled against the lefties. 144, 270 off right-handers. Runner on at first base, 2 down. Willingham and then Domit due up for the Twins. Patton all over the place with his pitches here. Misses with that one, trying to get him to chase. 1-2.
Tell me this, Jim. The opening day especially, I think it takes players a couple innings just to settle in, And here you are coming out of the bullpen in the 9th inning. Where's your settle in time?
Right there.
Yeah, there you go.
He settled in real well right there. Good breaking ball. But again, the key, got behind Mauer. Obviously didn't want to do that. Gets ahead of Morneau and then makes the perfect pitch. Really good breaking ball down and away. And again, Morneau, we'll see. Again, coming off the concussion, if he's going to be the MVT quality player. But again, that's an awfully good pitch.
That was a great pitch. Hard slider. Started off in the zone.
So there's one of the 3 outs needed. Here's Willingham. You can see why the Orioles skipper brought in the left-hander. When you look at these numbers, Willingham, a 208 hitter off left-handers last year, 264 off right-handers, and he had 160 at-bats off the lefties.
Well, just imagine if you're Troy Patton and you're getting an opportunity to stay in the game here. And if he's able to succeed, we're talking about, building blocks of having a terrific year. I mean, it's real easy for Buck Showalter to go right out there and take him out. But he's going to give him a shot.
He's had some tough times, Patton has, and sometimes he's been called up and just sat and watched games and then went back down without ever pitching. Johnson will be ready in the bullpen if needed. High in the air to left field. That ball is deep. It is way back, and goodbye home run. Josh Willingham. A 2 RBI homer in the 9th inning has cut the lead in half and made it 4-2.
Now, the one thing with Willingham, you can't make mistakes. You just got to change up in the zone. And This is what he gets the big bucks for.
So Troy Patton works only a third of an inning. He'll be charged with 2 runs on 1 hit with a walk and a strikeout. The closer's on. A save on day number 1 of the 2012 season. He is the official closer for the Orioles.
Yeah, converted. You saw the 7 out of 7 in September, 8 in a row, and you take in August and trying to make it 9 in a row as he now comes into a save situation. Some early back problems. Mike, you saw him all spring. Maybe the velocity got a little bit back, a lot better as the spring training progressed.
Well, he was a little tentative, I think, working his way through spring training. But at the end, he touched 95. He had great movement, though, the last 4 or 5 outings down in spring training.
Ryan Doman. And he will take it for a strike.
Yeah, there's one of those moving fastball. I mean, how often do you duck out of the way on a sinker?
Wow.
And again, that's not an easy time of the day to see.
0-1 pitch, check swing. Did he go? Yes. Chris Giccione down at third base. Updating you voting. AT&T Player of the Game. There's where it stands right now. Text in your vote. A, B, or C. 51862. Results in the O's Extra post-game show. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way. Jim Johnson misses. Base is empty. 1 down. 9th inning. Home run. Josh Willingham, after a leadoff walk to Mauer, has made it a 4-2 game. Johnson with a 1-2 delivery. Bowman will take it, and the count goes to 2-2.
Yeah, the Twins got to be pretty pleased. Trailing by 4 and get a runner on. All of a sudden, the tying run comes to the plate. Albeit it will have to be against Jim Johnson.
And a big cut. And there's the second out.
Well, he's got about as good a changeup. When you couple that with the movement and velocity, watch this. You can see he just turns that changeup over and it dives out of the zone.
So the big crowd comes to its feet here at Camden Yards. The Orioles are not away from winning the opener. It would be their 37th opening day win against 22 losses if they can get it. Danny Valencia will take it outside for a ball. Valencia singled 1 for 3 in the ball game. Orioles have out-hit the Twins 6-5 and have the 4-2 lead. 1-1.
Yeah, real good fastball hitter, and we saw that on that base hit. Worked the count into his favor. Hit it over the shortstop's head. He's trying to get on, and JJ's trying to extinguish the flame.
Valencia's faced him only once and has a base hit. He is 1 for 1. 2-ball, 1-strike count on Valencia. Three-ball, 1-strike count. Got to come at him. He had a power hitter, a youngster, Parmalee, waiting on deck.
Yeah, I would imagine he'd be taken here. Wouldn't you think, Mike?
Well, I think so. After he took those pitches, I mean, those are some tough pitches to lay off of.
He dives, and it's a strike. Tried to coach the walk on of Tim Cheater, the home plate umpire. Couldn't get it.
And bottom of the strike zone.
Three-two delivery. Game on. The Twins will get the potential tying run to the plate in the top of the 9th inning.
Well, again, this is a very aggressive young hitter whose average dropped about 60 points. Strikeouts went all the way over 100 last year, and he takes a pretty close pitch.
Yeah, he took some tough pitches.
Really nice work in the count there.
Arrieta waiting to see if he can get the win. No runs, 2 hits over 7. Chris Parmalee's gone 0 for 3. 2 down. Parmalee's got a base hit into right field. Markakis over to get it. Turn at second base. Valencia will go to third. And the Twins have 2 on with 2 down in the 9th. And not going quietly.
And they're going to pinch run with Ben Revere, who stole 34 bases last year.
Tough situation right here. First and third situation with a base stealer.
Well, you're not worried about the runner on third. You're worried about the runner on first. And Mike, you know as well as anybody, I mean, everybody, your outfielders, everybody, that's the guy you're concerned about.
Right.
That's the tying run, and then Trevor Plouffe, he represents the go-ahead run at home plate.
Plouffe coming to the plate for his first at bat. He came on as a defensive replacement. And he will take Johnson's pitch for a strike. Plouffe hit .238 last season. 18 doubles, 8 home runs, 31 RBIs, and about 290 at bats. As the Twins first and third, 2 down in the 9th. Johnson's delivery, and a chopper will get a short. Hardy to second. Orioles win it. The 2012 season kicks off with a W as they defeat the Twins 4-2. More excitement in the 9th than the Orioles might have liked, but they get to go off the field congratulating one another as they defeat the Twins by a score of 4-2, making Arrieta the winner.